Hey binge watchers, how you doing? We're going to be reviewing and ranking the final season of Mst3k, Mystery Science Theater 3000. Okay. Actually, now that I think about it, it's the third final season of Mst3k, but, who's counting? So, anywho, let's get going. Just to keep you up to date, the show was brought back for a season 11 after being gone since 1999. On Netflix, it was relaunched with a huge successful Kickstarter, goes right to Netflix for streaming, so there's less restrictions that they have to deal with for regular television. Now, unlike the previous retooling where they went from Joel to Mike, this time around was a bit more of a challenge because they had a larger group of new creators behind the scenes, with only a few original players there, like Joe Hodson, who was the producer. So they had the challenge of feeling like the old show, keeping that spirit, while at the same time carving their own personality to it. And that's kind of the fun part of season 11, is watching them from episode to episode kind of figure that out. And it had that kind of thrilling feel of like the early seasons, really. And I think they were successful by the time the season ended. They really kind of had their thing going. That brings us to season 12, and it continues with its creating staff. We got Jonah Ray as Jonah Heston, Felicia Day as Kinga Forrester, Patton Oswalt as Max. We even have the same robots. We got Hampton Yount as Crow, Baron Vaughn as Servo, and Rebecca Hansen doing double duty as well, playing Gypsy, and Cynthia, the clone of Pearl Forrester, who gets a upgrade this season as far as her intelligence is concerned. And also we have one more new character that we added, Dr. Donna St. Vibes, which is kind of a play on those zoologist people that would show up on talk shows and introduce animals and things would be cute and funny and stuff like that. She's played by Deanna Roney, and sorry about that. Let's see. She appears in a couple episodes. My particular favorite is her appearance in Killerfish. I'll talk to you about that in a minute. Anyway, with the show's 30th anniversary this season, they decided to mark the occasion by kind of like bringing the whole Turkey Day thing back, which for a Misty like me was really exciting. It'd been a long time since we had a legit Turkey Day with Mst3k. And think about it. In the 90s, having TV and movie marathons was kind of a bigger deal, but now with the age of streaming, that's basically how a lot of people view their TV shows and movies. They just sit down and watch a whole season all at once. That's kind of not me, because to me that's like a 13-hour movie, but I don't know, maybe that's just my generation talking. But that's just seemed perfect and fitting for what they wanted to do, and Kinga decided to work that in-universe, where she was going to torture Jonah and the bots by forcing them to binge 6 episodes back to back to back in The Gauntlet. And it's a very funny idea because it kind of brings the whole binge watching, Turkey Day marathoning into our laps as well as Jonah's laps, where they're forced to watch the episodes all day long. And it even works as a bit of a story arc because Jonah just can't take it anymore, and he decides to turn the tables on Kinga throughout the season, where he slowly kind of works against her. It's pretty great, actually, and has a good payoff in the final episode. Not only did they figure out how to kind of put a new spin on an old favorite, they even managed to build that arc. Let's see. They even also have a subplot involving finding the Idiot Control Now song from the Pod People episode, and that leads us to discover the whereabouts of Dr. Earhart, played by J. Elvis Weinstein, which is that's kind of a question we've had. They've never really answered whatever happened to him. So that was kind of cool seeing him back one more time as the character, and seems to have had like a bit of inner peace over the years, which is kind of funny. He's really nice to see, and he has a lot of scenes with Cynthia, which are kind of fun. Okay, now let's get to the nitty-gritty of these videos, and that is ranking. Now, like my other Mystery Science Theater season reviews, I rank the episodes from least favorite to favorite. So let's get going. I will say that I do enjoy all these episodes. They only had 6, but, you know, hey, you're going to like more than others. So let's get going with the ones that made the least effect on me all the way to the ones that were strongest. All right, number 6 was Lords of the Deep. Now, through no fault of their own, this is a lot on the movie, because this is one of those movies that is so kind of numbingly boring. It makes it hard to riff, and as an audience member, it's harder to pay attention to the riffing, and also has one of those endings that just sneaks up on you. I've seen this episode several times now, and that ending always catches me off guard. There are some pretty funny riffs in there. There's a That's So Raven riff that's very funny. There's a joke about the lead actress where Jonah says that she looks like God tried to remake Michelle Pfeiffer from memory. That's funny. The strongest things in this episode were the sketches. There's a sketch making fun of the goo that's in the movie, as well as Dr. Donna St. Vibes. I don't know why I keep tripping over that name, Donna St. Vibes. They have a sketch for her at the end, which is hysterical. I really love the way and the note this ends on. It goes from cute to horrifying in no time flat. It's really funny. All right, now let's go to number 5. And number 5 is what may be the last episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000. It's Ator, the Fighting Eagle. And it's really nice to have like a familiar face back, Miles O'Keefe as Ator. This is one of my old favorite episodes is The Cave Dwellers, which was a sequel to this film, and finally they got a chance to do the original Ator film, which is just as bad as you might think. The second Ator isn't like a downgrade from the first one. They both are terrible. They're both equally bad. They have some good backdrops on where they were shooting, but outside of that, it's a pretty cheap film, and there are some really good jokes in it, but of course, like, probably the strongest thing is it ends with Jonah figuring out how to trick Kinga and ends up trapping her and Max in the theater while him and everyone else escapes, and they are forced to watch Mr. Be Natural. It's wonderful, and if there are no more episodes of Mystery Science Theater, I think it ends really nicely. Better this than the final episode of last season, which kind of ended on a down note. So yeah, this one was, marginally better than the Lords of the Deep episode. Now, let's get to number 4. And number 4 is The Day Time Ended. And this movie, I'm going to tell you, doesn't make any friggin' sense, and not in a good way, like a David Lynch film. It doesn't make any sense. I think they thought of a couple cool ideas, and it's like, hey, let's do weird stuff, and just throw it at the screen, and there's not really much of a story of it. And but there's a lot of cool, dopey stuff in the movie to make fun of over and over again. And it's very 70s, which to me is pretty appealing. So this episode was pretty funny. Okay, now number 3 is, now we're talking about the next 3, and the next 3 I think are really the strongest. Number 3 is The Killer Fish. And The Killer Fish is another good old-fashioned 70s movie with Lee Majors. Karen Black's in here. Let's see, the guy who was in Space Travelers, he's the villain in this. I think there's a couple other familiar faces, like Mayor Winningham is in here. And, oh boy, there's a lot of really good riffing in this one. The mockery of Mayor Winningham's lisp and her speech pattern is extremely funny. Because she's supposed to be kind of a sexy character, and she has this weird kind of cadence to her voice that does not sound all that sexy as far as what the movie wants to make us believe. There's a lot of good jokes on this director who's in the movie and is so dead from like second one, and they have a lot of fun with him. Also, they do something amazing, because if you've watched episodes before, you know there's usually a scene which takes forever and is boring and it's hard to riff. And like the sandstorm sequence, for instance, or the rock climbing sequence in Lost Continent, the sandstorm sequence in Hercules and the Moon Man, where it just goes on, and they just kill themselves trying to figure out something to do. They actually figure out something new, and it's actually a pretty unique "why didn't I think of it before" idea, where, you know how they sometimes do a song in the host segments? Well, they decided to just do a song during this very long, boring scuba diving scene. And that scene is long, too. So the other robots come out and start playing music, and they start singing, and it's really fun. You really do forget that there's a movie behind the scenes. Oh, I can't believe that I've never thought of doing that before in this show. That's a really funny idea. That, to me, I think, was one of the things that made this like a really favorite episode of mine. All right, now let's talk about the top two, and they're really strong episodes. Number 2 is Mac and Me. And Mac and Me, I was excited when I heard they were doing that. When I saw footage from Mac and Me in the trailer for season 12, I was like, oh, right, let's see this now. Mac and Me is a famously bad movie from the 80s. It's one of the many, many, many E.T. ripoffs. And it was really kind of... The commercialism in this movie was so over-the-top gross. It was McDonald's getting their foot in the door doing movies, and this was their last real big movie. Yeah, they had this idea of like doing a production company and doing like kind of like tie-ins to their movies, and this was their first big experiment, and they went all the way with it, and it's terrible. And God, they have a lot of fun with this one. Of course, they make fun of a lot of the product placements in it. How bad the creatures look, all the nonsense stuff. I laugh and laugh and laugh during the big chase where, let's see, the kid and Mac are being chased by the feds, and it's just like, the feds are way over into chasing them. It's really funny. Not to mention some of the riffs here and there. There's a scene where this girl stands up and like has this really kind of expression on her, and Jonah just sings. Oh! It's great. Very funny episode. We also start with a killer line where we pick up from where we left off. We had a cliffhanger in the last episode of season 11 where it looked like Jonah died, and he shows up at the beginning and goes, "Hey guys, I'm okay. Do you want to hear what happened?" Nah, we're fine. I'm sure you were good. That's great. That's such a Mystery Science Theater joke. Yeah, just great. It was well worth the wait. It was one of those movies I've been waiting since day one. Like ever since I heard of what Mystery Science Theater was, I was like, well, they're going to do Mac and Me, right? Finally, they did Mac and Me, and it was great. All right, now what is my favorite episode of season 12? It is none other than Atlantic Rim. And Atlantic Rim is another classic Mst3k type of film where it's an obvious ripoff, and it has a loathsome hero who you're supposed to like. And boy, they latch onto this character and they pummel him with riffing. He is that rebel character who doesn't care, but he gets results, and he gets heaped on with praise despite the fact that he doesn't listen to anybody and gets people killed and endangers everyone and unnecessarily risks everyone's lives for no reason outside to just be the badass. I hate him. He's a terrible character. No offense to the actor playing him. It's a job, I'm sure, but oh my god, this character's awful. Jonah says he is what a puka shell would look like if he was a human being. Joke after joke, all the bad like stock footage. Let's see, we had a couple of actors slumming it in this one. They made fun of them. The bad effects. There is a funny Free Willy line in here that cracks me up every time. And, oh boy, it's just absolutely great. This is a really good episode. I would definitely put this, like, if you pick one episode or two, the top two are Mac and Me and Atlantic Rim. You should throw that on to any, like, good list of, like, solid episodes. These are really strong, and man, they were the first two episodes of the season, and boom, boom, what a great start. I absolutely love these episodes. So those are my ranking. Let's see. I will say, all in all, that this was a pretty successful season, and as a final season goes, I'd say it's stronger than season 7, but not quite as strong as season 10, which frankly had, I think, 10 episodes. It was a little bit more to kind of play with and have fun with. Cast and crew just felt really comfortable. The unspecial effects of the show really looked great. The talking dog, the new robots. Yeah, they just had a lot of fun. Some of the puppetry was really nice. Like the bear from A-Tour looked really good. Yeah, everybody seemed to be having fun with this season. So I did too. And I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 Ram Chips. I think my only complaints is if this was maybe just a couple of episodes longer, I would have definitely put this in a 5 Ram Chip category. Donna St. Vibes, I don't think is used enough, where I think she could have appeared in another episode, because they did have a monster that she didn't like appear in, and then she appeared to talk about a bear, which is not a monster. And I don't know, it's just really, really good, strong season. If this is for real the last season ever, Mystery Science Theater, I'll be happy. I think I was happy to have 2 more seasons of the show. And we have like 20 episodes, 20 more episodes. How great is that? Now, of course, we're talking about like Mystery Science Theater, the show that always comes back. So we might get a new season elsewhere on some other streaming service. I don't know yet. Right now, we're in the middle of a pandemic, so that puts everything off. Joel was doing a tour of the show, and I assume after that tour, they were going to kind of get into plans of doing like a new season. I don't know if the creators from this era, the Netflix era, are going to continue with the show. I know they love being part of it, so maybe. I don't know. I hope so, but that'd be great. Well, like I said, if that's it, that's pretty good. So, hey, I'm the Real Manos. You can follow me on several different social media places like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can support this channel and Manos Publishing at Patreon. Just $1 a month gets me through life. And you can also like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified about other Mystery Science Theater, comic book, or any kind of related videos I do here. And do you have any favorites about season 12, any particular episodes that jumped out at you? Leave a comment below. Let's talk about it. All right, I think that's it. So push the button, Lindsay.